2015. I started out with 2 colonies with my sister, and we expanded from there. Never thought I'd be a beekeeper, but I got intrigued by the insect because they're phenomenal creatures and they're always doing something different. No one hive is like another colony, so you really have to get in and learn the honeybees. Standing here currently with the hives from the Goldsboro Beekeepers Association, which is better known as the Beekeepers of the Noose. This is the apiary that they utilize for training new beekeepers, even the advanced beekeepers. They collect honey here and propagate honeybees for sale. About 1/3 of every bite of food that you eat is because we have honeybees. Now, this world that we live in can exist without honeybees because we have natural pollinators with the moth, the wasp, the butterflies, ants, all type of creatures that pollinate. There's over 2,000 different bees in the United States alone. Now, honeybees are the most prolific pollinators that we have. The bees pollinate the crops by collecting nectar and pollen. And by doing so, they're actually pollinating that plant for proper growth. Now, we could exist without the honeybees, but our fruits would be 1/3 of its size. They'd be knotty fruits. They would not be the beautiful fruits and cucumbers and pears and cherries that we see today because they get properly pollinated. Just for an example, a cucumber plant needs to be visited by a pollinator 7 times in order to have a proper, beautiful cucumber that is marketable to the restaurants and the grocery stores nowadays. We're trying to educate more of these smaller farmers to get into beekeeping because if they do, they're going to see a big difference in their crops that they're producing there. The quality of the crops, the quantity of their crops, they're just going to expand in magnitudes. And so a lot of them may be a little bit hesitant in getting into beekeeping, so they may hire small-time beekeepers. But small-time beekeeper has a couple hundred hives. Commercial pollinators have 1,500 to 3,000 colonies. And so where the smaller beekeepers come in, the importance of pollinating is with the smaller farmers, such as the CEFS farmers here, the ones that got the high tunnels and those type things there. So we're encouraging those individuals to take beginner beekeeping classes, acquire 2 colonies of bees, acquire a mentor, to learn to teach them about the honeybees, keep the honeybees happy and healthy. It'll be a great relationship with them and their farms. Because you have people in some of the small cities, metropolitan areas that don't have facilities or may not be allowed to have them into their home organizations, stuff like that, for their neighborhoods or in subdivisions. So this is a perfect ideal situation for them to have a partnership and then that way that farmer can still utilize and have honeybees at a much more economical situation for everybody. Because typically if they have to rent honeybees, those honeybees are only going to be rented out to them like every 30-day cycle. And that could become expensive for that farmer. So if they get a partnership with a local beekeeper, it's a perfect marriage there. The honeybees produce nothing but good things. Their life cycle to the pollination, the production of the honey, they produce pollen and other byproducts such as propolis, which is like what we call a bee glue. It uses medicinal type properties and things like that. The actual pollen itself, the honey cone, the honey is used in medical situations for wounds and burn victims and those stuff like that. Even the sting of the honeybee is a positive thing, so people use that for therapy with their arthritis. So everything about the honeybee is a positive thing. So we as beekeepers want to keep that positivity going with the honeybees. So we have to be proponents of advertising about the goods of the honeybees because a lot of people are just afraid of being stung. So that's just a product of the hive.